Hi, Claire.
Hi, Emma.
So we're gonna come into a 4-point kneel and start warming up. We're gonna go into a cat-cow to start. So hands below your shoulders, knees below your hips. I want you to take a big inhale, drop your belly to the ground, open up through the chest, look to the ceiling, and then take a big exhale through the mouth. Push the ground away from you, around through the spine. And then we're just gonna keep going here. You might know that Taylor Swift released her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, last week.
I think it's absolutely been my favorite one.
And she already broke records for the biggest first week numbers for any album ever in history. That being said, feedback on the new album has been pretty critical.
It does not hold up to her other discography lyrically. I think that Taylor Swift's previous albums displayed this true mastery with literary devices like imagery, juxtaposition, and incorporated a high level of accessibility, meaning her lyrics were not only complex and meaningful, but they were also relatively easy to understand.
Question. Do you think that Taylor has reached a cultural peak and will inevitably decline?
I don't think so, because what Taylor has been really good at, from my understanding, and I'm not a Swiftie, is she's very good at constantly reinventing herself, and that manifests itself in very different sounding albums. And I think that that's what's given her the ability to capture new audiences throughout her journey. So I think if she's able to continue doing that, she's going to continue to grow.
To me, at least, her albums sound quite similar. But come to your neutral, and we're gonna go into a serratus push-up. So I want you to keep your arms straight, dip your chest down to the ground like you're trying to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades, and then push the ground away from you, spread your shoulder blades apart. And then we're gonna keep going here. So just dip the chest and then spread the shoulder blades apart. I also think that she's been able to build this sort of parasocial relationship with her fans, that they feel like they know her. That makes her feel so relatable to people, even though she's a pretty, very wealthy person who's extremely unrelatable.
She's very good at both retention of fans
and acquiring new ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, on this next one, spread your shoulder blades apart and hold, and then I want you to drop down onto your forearms. So clasp your hands together, drop down onto your forearms, and you're gonna hold that spread of the shoulder blades. Okay, extend through your right leg, straighten the leg until it's in line with the body. Okay, and then you're gonna bend through the knee, tap the knee down to the ground. Good, and then we're gonna keep going. So as you straighten and bend, I want you to keep both forearms pressed into the ground, so even weight on both forearms, keep both hips squared, and stay engaged through the core. And then we're gonna keep going with the straighten and bend.
Yeah, I feel like to keep my hips pressed down and square to the floor, I have to really think about putting a ton of weight in my right forearm.
Yep.
Because if I don't, I kind of open out to the right, which I don't want. So I have to think left knee and right forearm, so that can help me use my core and stay centered.
Yeah. You'll feel a lot of supporting glute and supporting shoulders, even as you're kind of moving the right leg around. Okay, on this next one, I want you to extend the right leg, and you can actually plant your toes down to the ground. Good, and you're gonna hold them there. Okay, I want you to unclasp your little fingers, and then you're gonna prop up onto your right hand. Good. And then come back down onto your forearm. So we're just gonna alternate, coming down onto your forearm and then propping up. So you're actually trying to keep your hips squared and exactly the way that Claire was just describing, but just opening up a tiny little bit through the chest and then coming back down. You really need to engage your core to make sure you're not flopping around as you do this.
Yeah, I feel like the opening up of the upper body with this squaring of the hips is what is allowing me to feel a ton of my obliques.
Yeah, that little twisty twist. Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel my left glute also, side glute.
Let's do 4 more. Keep pressing through your left forearm for 3. Okay, 2 more, and then we're adding on the next layer. On this next one, as you prop up onto your right hand, you're gonna draw your right knee into your chest. So at the same time, you can actually unsquare the hips, draw your knee to your chest, and then extend the leg long, tap the toes back to the ground as you drop down. Okay, so before we talk about form, Claire is extending the leg and dropping the toes to the ground. If you want more challenge, as you extend the leg, you can keep it hovered. Okay, keep going.
I'm really feeling my left side glute as I open everything up. Like now that we're not keeping the hips square, I'm like putting a ton of load in my left glute as I open up. But it's like particularly hard putting everything back down. Like I have to be like super controlled. It really is my abs.
Yeah. Imagine in that way that you're opening up your hips, like you're kind of pivoting around your left glute to open up. Okay, let's do 3 more. Good. And drop down. Careful of rounding through the spine as you draw your knee into your chest. Good for 2.
Which we don't want, right?
Yes, no rounding. Okay.
Dude, my left glute.
Yeah, last one. Extend, plant the toes, and you're just gonna hold onto your forearms for a second and then slowly come up onto your hands. So replace your elbows with your hands, come up into your hands and knees position. Okay, open up through your right hip and plant your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And then lift your hands off of the ground, sweep your arms up overhead. Good.
And my foot is externally rotated, right? On my right leg?
Open through the hip, open through the foot. Okay, come back down onto your hands. So you can round through the spine to come back down onto your hands. Good. Plant the hands, and then you're gonna straighten through the right leg, extend it long behind you. You can either tap the toes or go into a little lift. Okay, and then we're gonna keep going. Okay, so open up through the right hip, plant the foot, lift up, and either sweep the arms up overhead, or if that feels like too much, you can tap the hands behind the head, whatever feels more comfortable for you, and then extend the arms back down to the ground, and then straighten through the leg. Okay, so let's talk about the starting and middle positions here. When you're in your leg extension and when you're in your arm extension, so kind of like the 2 bookend points, I want you to be in a neutral spine. You can round through the spine as you're moving through those 2 positions. So when you're sweeping your leg forward and sweeping your leg back, you can find some roundness through the spine to get your foot out there. And then just adjust what feels comfortable for you for how close the foot is to the right hand.
I'm going to also go a little bit faster because dynamic vibes.
Yeah.
And 2 things that I'm realizing as I'm doing this, like 2 key moments for the core to really feel the core, is when I'm coming up like into my high kneel, so removing my hands off the floor, I can really engage my core if I really think about knitting my ribs in and bringing my belly button in towards my spine. And also when my arms are all the way up to the ceiling, I have to like really think about keeping my core engaged also so that my ribs don't flare and I'm not like doing this
Popping open through the chest. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can, as long as you're being mindful of those things, you can speed it up a little bit.
This is Ricky Martin vibes. If you guys don't know this, that was our first
dynamic
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the heart rate up a little bit.
Good. And careful as you extend the leg back behind you too, that you're not arching through the back. So it's a similar feeling with your arms extended overhead, no popping through the chest, no arching through the back. Good. Okay, let's do 2 more. Good. Okay, last one, extend the leg long and you're gonna plant the right toes down to the ground. Okay, straighten through your left leg to meet the right to come into a full plank. And hold. Okay, we're gonna do a little running in plank. So bend through your right knee just a little bit and then straighten through the leg, and then bend through the left knee, straighten through the leg. So notice the hips aren't moving. If you feel like you're stable in this, you can go a little bit faster and get a little bit of like a run in plank going, but just make sure you're not wobbling through the hips and not wobbling through the shoulders.
Yeah, like you don't want this.
Exactly, yeah. For 5, the core needs to be engaged. For 4, for 3, breathe. For 2, last one, slowly lower the knees. Nice job. You can take a little child's pose.
Whew, I'm feeling my heart rate.
Yeah?
Yep.
I feel like you're gonna break a sweat during this class.
I don't know, dude. It's the first cold morning in New York. So I was chilly before starting this, which is not playing to your advantage in terms of getting my pores to release.
I'm gonna warm you up. Don't worry. Okay, lay onto your back. We're gonna go into a glute bridge. Okay, so I want your feet planted in line with your hips, knees pointed up. Okay, and then your arms are gonna start long by your sides. You're gonna lift up into a bridge, keeping your neutral spine, so just uncrease the hips, lift up into your bridge, and then lower the butt down and tap. I don't want you to dump all of your weight back into your butt, just graze the butt and then lift directly back up. Good. And then we're gonna keep going, but add an arm sweep. So as you lift your hips up, arm sweep all the way up overhead. And then as you lower the hips, lower the arms. Good. And then keep going. Have you ever been a Swiftie?
No. But so I also see some private Pilates clients, and most of them are Swifties.
Really?
So they're the ones that I play music while I teach them
Okay.
in person, and most of them always want to listen to like Taylor Swift. So that's how I kind of just like started to get exposed to her. So no, I'm not a Swiftie, but I like very much respect how big of an artist she is. I'm not like a huge fan of her music. Like I don't listen to it on my own.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really bother me. Although some albums I don't like Folklore, I don't really like.
I wish I knew
But this one
more
I-
details about the specific albums. I did listen to this one in earnest.
It's good. I mean, it's not like my favorite, but in terms of like all my favorite music, but it's
Yeah. You can
pretty good.
appreciate it. Okay,
Yeah.
on this next one, keep the hands down and lift the butt up. So firmly plant your hands into the ground and hold. Okay. Straighten through your right leg and tap your right heel just 1 footprint in front of you, and then bring the leg back to where it came from. And then we're just gonna switch sides. So straighten through your left leg, tap your left heel, and then bring it back in. Good. Okay, so notice as Claire is doing this and tapping 1 foot at a time, the hips aren't wiggling. I don't want any wobbling. So you really have to engage through the core as you extend the leg. Good. Don't let the hip drop.
for me to avoid having a ton of wobbling. Like, yes, I need to engage through my core, but I'm actually also going to open my arms out a little bit more to a V, and like really pressing my hands into the floor helps me find control through the hips.
Yeah.
That's helpful for you too.
Wider V means more stable base. So you can like play around with that. Also, the further you extend the leg, the more challenging it's going to be. So you can play around with that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do 6 more.
You're not a Swiftie, right?
No, I'm not. I used to like Taylor Swift when she was like a country star in like, what year was that? Maybe 2010?
See, I told you, queen of reinvention.
I know.
Give me another artist that used to be like a completely different vibe.
Absolutely hates being put on the spot like this, but I fucking love it.
I have no
It's
idea.
not
I need
unfortunately
to
the
think about
question.
that. Okay, keep your right leg out there and hold. So press into your right heel. I want you to lift up onto your left toes. So lift your left heel off of the ground and then lower it back down. Good. So nothing else is moving. You're trying not to let the left hip rise up as you're coming into a high heel. Okay, let's do 8. Good. Really pressing into your right heel to engage the right glute. For 6, breathe. For 5, 4 more.
My glutes and hammies.
I know. For 3, 2, last one. Hold the heel lifted on this next one. Hold little tiny pulses of the hips up and down. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can lower the hips down to take a little reset if you need it. You're going to lift your hips back up into your bridge and then tap your left heel out just 1 footprint and hold it there. Good. Okay. Lift your right heel off of the ground, come into a high heel, and then lower back down. Really pressing into your left heel to support through your left glute as the right side is moving. Good.
I also really have to think about lifting my left hip up a little bit because it wants to drop and not be aligned with my right hip. So just FYI, really think of pressing out of that left heel to lift that left hip.
Yeah, especially with the leg extended a little bit, it's a lot more challenging to keep that side
Yeah.
lifted. Okay, let's do 5 more. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold the heel lifted, tiny little pulses of the hips up and down, really pressing through the left heel. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the butt down. You can draw your knees into your chest.
I actually have an example of an artist that reinvented themselves. Bob Dylan. He wanted to go into rock, and his record label or whatever didn't want him to, and then he started flopping, which goes to show, let them reinvent themselves. That's what makes them successful.
Keep engaging the fans. Come back onto hands and knees. We're going to do our little dynamic series on the other side. So hands and knees, and then drop down onto your forearms. Clasp your hands together. Okay. Straighten through the left leg. Extend the leg long until it's in line with the body. And then bring the knee back down to where it came from. Good. So on this one, you can actually extend the leg and keep the toes lifted. And then bend and tap the knee back down to the ground. So keeping even weight on both forearms as you extend and bend, trying not to let your hips kind of fall over to the right.
But I will say, I do feel like I need to put a bit more weight into my left forearm.
So that you're not flopping to the right? Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want me to open my left hip, so
Exactly.
I gotta do that.
Yeah. Let's do 4 more. For 3. Breathe. 2. On this next one, extend the leg and you can tap the toes down to the ground. All right, we're gonna prop up onto our left hand. Keep the hips square to the ground, open up a little bit through the shoulders, and then drop back down onto your left forearm. So notice when Clara is doing this, it's not a flop back down to the ground. She's using the control through her core and through her right shoulder to kind of slowly lower herself back down onto the forearm. That's super important.
Ooh.
Let's do 5. 4 more. Keep breathing. For 3. Nice job keeping your hips even in this too. That's very challenging.
Yeah, I really have to also press into my left toe. That's helping me stay even.
Yep. Okay, we're adding on the leg sweep as we lift up onto the hand. So on this next one, as you prop up onto your left hand, draw your left knee in towards your chest without rounding through the spine. And then extend the leg back to where it came from, drop back down onto the forearm. Good. So you can do both of those things at the same time.
Is where I'm opening up through my left hip and
Exactly.
my upper body.
Yep. So now you'll feel more right glute as you open up.
I was just gonna say, this is the right glute moment.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, gotta go really slow.
Let's do 5 more. It's really hard not to round through the back, especially when you add the knee to chest.
Agreed. And tuck through the pelvis. Mm-hmm. If that's happening, by the way, just don't bring the knee in as far forward.
Yeah.
If you're tucking, because at some point you do need to round through the spine. You can't stay neutral.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Extend the leg, tap the toes, come back down onto your forearms, square the hips, and then prop up onto both hands. Okay. Bend through the left knee, open up through the left hip. We're planting the left foot to the outside of the mat. And then lift up off of your hands. Arms are going to extend up overhead. If it feels like too much to extend the arms all the way up overhead, you can keep moving through this. You don't have to lift your arms up all of the way. All right, good. Take the same variation of this that you did on the other side. So if you sped it up, try to speed it up on this side too. If you lifted your leg off of the ground, when you extend the leg long, try to do the same thing on this side.
Oof.
Nice.
Really got to engage my core. Those 2 moments when I bring my hands off of the floor and plant the foot, and then when I lift my arms all the way up. So
Yeah.
engage through the core, as we always say, is knit the ribs in and belly button in.
Yeah. All right, let's do 5 more. Keep breathing. Remember, you can speed it up a tiny bit more. For 4. Breathe. Beautiful. 3. Careful as you extend the leg long behind you that you're not arching through the back. 2 more. All right. Last one, extend the leg long behind you. You're going to plant the toes, straighten through the right leg to meet it in a full plank, and then we're going to do our running in plank again. So bend through one knee, straighten the leg, and then other side. So notice when Claire is doing this, she's rolling forward onto her toes. So the whole body isn't rocking forward and back. It's just a bend of the knee that's coming from the toe. Let's do 5, 4, breathe for 3, keep engaging the core for 2, really nice. Last one, lower the knees, take a little child's pose. Nice job.
Heart rate.
Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of abs and then come all the way up to stand. So lay onto your back. Okay, we're gonna do a dead bug, which we haven't done in a little while.
Yeah,
So
it's been a minute.
your arms are gonna reach up to the ceiling. I want your feet to lift off of the ground and you're gonna make a diamond shape. So press your heels together, your knees are gonna be slightly apart. We're gonna start just with the arms. So your right arm is gonna extend up overhead and then sweep it back up towards the ceiling and then switch sides. Left arm sweeps up overhead and then bring it back. So same thing here as what we were just talking about. As your arm sweeps overhead, you might not actually get it all the way to the floor, which is totally fine. Focus on core engagement first, so knitting the ribs, drawing that corset kind of closed and tighter, and then think arm is second. So it doesn't need to go all the way to the floor.
Also, if this is getting deep into like your hip flexors, you can always do what we call a floppy tabletop, which is where you just drop your heels to your butt and it will immediately help you release through your flexors, but still engage your core.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to OG dead bug.
Yeah. Give me one more on the left. On this next one, as your right arm extends overhead, you're gonna straighten through your left leg. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Extends, and then bring everything back in, and then switch sides. Okay, so the reason I have your legs in an external rotation here is because I want you to feel a little bit of glute as you extend the legs. So you'll feel low abdominals, but hopefully that external rotation will help release a little bit through the hip flexor as you extend the leg long.
And try to keep the leg externally rotated as you extend it. Yeah.
You want to keep that kind of like wrapping feeling the entire time.
Really engages my inner thigh.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to do one more each side, and then we are going to do both at the same time, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so one more each side. All right, both arms are going to sweep up overhead. Both legs are going to straighten, really pressing the heels together. So squeeze the heels, keep that external rotation, and then bring everything back in. We're just going to do 8 of these total. All right, first.
Don't extend the legs all the way if it's like too much for your low back. Like this is pretty advanced. So I would say like most people are gonna only extend about 75% of the way.
Yeah. And notice Claire is extending the legs on a high diagonal. That's making it less challenging for the core. If you want more challenge, you feel like it's not getting into the low back, you can lower the legs closer to the ground.
Yeah. It's still pretty fucking challenging, let me tell you. I'm shaking.
3 more. I actually was shaking doing 2 of these when I was prepping this class.
So I'm like, people are going low and straight, like, oh, all right, life of a showgirl.
All right, last one. And then draw your knees into your chest. Nice job. Okay, rock around a little bit, and then we're gonna come all the way up to stand. Yeah, we got things to do.
I know.
I should have made this class showgirl themed. You know I love a theme. This is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that's your fault. You planned the class.
Come to the end of your mat so you have space in front of you, feet in parallel right below your hip sockets, and then your hands are going to be on your hips. We're going to go into a squat. So send your butt back behind you, bend through the knees, chest comes forward to about 45 degrees, and then press through your heels to come all the way back up to stand. So imagine your hamstrings and your glutes are like a rubber band. As you sit back, you're trying to stretch and lengthen through the rubber band. And then unstretch the rubber band as you come up all the way up to stand.
I have to really be mindful of my knees. I feel like I have a tendency to splay my knees in when I squat, so they would go like this. So I really have to like try to keep them in line with my hips, like on top of my ankles, if that makes sense.
All right, we're gonna add on. Next time you squat, right arm is gonna sweep up overhead, and then unsquat, bring the hand back to where it came from, and then switch sides. So same thing with the arm sweeps overhead. If this feels uncomfortable and you feel like you're getting too much into your traps, just don't raise your hand up as high, or you can get a little bend through the elbow. Good. All right. We're gonna do 4 more. Keep pressing through your heels. Okay. 3.
I really have to think about knitting my ribs in so that I can keep my core engaged. I feel like when I squat, it's very easy to let my core flop.
Yeah. I feel like people really struggle with squatting and engaging the core at the same time. On this next one, as you squat, both arms are going to lift up overhead.
It's hard to like remember to do that. It's like it feels like the last priority.
I know, there's so many things going on, but it's super important to protect your low back. All right.
Keep breathing.
You tell yourself.
That's my cue for you. Like when I try to engage my core and I squat, I like feel myself just like puffer fish.
Flag strike! There I go. Little help over here.
All right. Press through your heels on the way up too. We're going to connect to the glutes and the hamstrings, a little bit less quad. We're going to get into the quads in a second. Okay. Let's do 2 more. All right. Next one. As you squat, we're adding on a heel lift. So come down into your squat, lift your heels up off of the ground. Yep. Lower the heels and come all the way back up to stand. Nice job. And then we're going to keep going. So now you're going to feel a little bit more quad as you come up onto your toes.
And this is where that like knee thing I was talking about before gets even more important because like
a little tricky.
Wobble knees when I lift the heels. It's like really important to keep them parallel. Don't let them splay in.
Yeah. All right. We're going to do 2 more, and then we have one more little dynamic element.
Hell yeah.
Okay. 2. And lift.
I really feel my quads.
Yep. Last one. Yeah, this is a little quaddy, but we gotta work the quads
And
a little
calves.
bit. Yeah. Hold the heels lifted on this next one and hold. Arms are gonna lower down to the ground, come a little bit deeper into your squat, plant your hands to the ground, and we're gonna walk out into a full plank. So crawl your hands out all the way to a full plank, hips in line with your shoulders, and then crawl back. Slow and controlled, and then come back into your squat with your heels hovered and hold. Okay, and then we're gonna keep going. So lower the arms back down, come a little bit deeper into your squat, crawl all the way out. This is like our version of a burpee, but way better because burpees are the absolute worst.
So I'm never lowering my heels unless I like want to, right?
Exactly. So if you can, try to keep your heels lifted. That's gonna make this more of a balance challenge. If you feel like it's too much and it's too much quad, you can come into the squat with your heels down to the ground.
Oh, I feel like I need to like stay in my plank for a second before coming back just to give myself a little
like a reset.
breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do 3
How
more.
many more?
Just 3. Just 3.
Okay.
You got it.
I got it.
All right. Crawl all the way back.
This specific exercise is teetering on hard, by the way. Just letting you know.
But it's you love a teetering class. Too?
You do. This is a teetering exercise.
Yeah.
I would say the class is medium.
Yeah. Come back. Oh. Gotta throw some challenge in
Quads
there.
are getting tired.
Yep. This is the last one. You're gonna crawl out and just hold your plank. Come with your plank hold. Good for 10, 9, 8, breathe, 7, 6, close the ribs, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the knees. And take a child's pose.
Wow.
All right. Did we break a sweat?
In my armpits.
Okay. Let's go into a lunge stretch. So after your child's pose, I want you to bring your left foot forward, right leg stays long behind you.
And that's primarily because we had to pause, by the way, for a bit because Emma's dad started the lawnmower.
Directly below me.
Ты можешь ровно на 15 минут pause, потому что там все слышно. I'm recording a class right now. It's like vibrating everything.
I think you would have been sweating if it hadn't been for that
I
little
think
break.
so. If it hadn't been for your dad, but I thank him for that.
And then send your butt back behind you, straighten through the left leg, and you'll get a stretch through the back of the front leg. Take a few breaths. Do you have a favorite song on the new album?
Honey and Opalite. Okay. That favorite, again, it's all relative.
If I had to choose one, I was bopping a little bit to Father Figure. Did you listen to that?
That's actually pretty good.
Switch sides with the legs. I will say though, like the lyrics are objectively not great.
Yeah, we were also saying earlier that people like tragedy.
Yeah.
And people like when people are vulnerable about sad things. And she's really happy right now. And I feel like maybe people are jealous or it's just like, I don't know, people are not connecting with the vulnerability as much. Like there's just not as much to say when you're happy.
Well, there's a lot to say. I think people people like the sadness. Send your butt back behind you, straighten through the front leg.
People like feeling sorry for someone and like supporting them. I feel like that's easier than to be like super happy for someone. And maybe that's just because we're like jealous as fuck.
Fans do love her though. I feel like they like the people who are true fans like revel in her happiness.
Am I done, by the way?
Yeah, you're done. Great job.
Well, I will say the Swifties that I teach are not appreciating the lyrics as much.
Oh, but they like the sound, but they don't like the lyrics.
Yeah, and I think that's what she's like so good at is like the songwriting piece and what people really appreciate because it's like smart and really deep and very open. But again, like I don't know how much you can. I guess people write a lot about love, but usually like breakups.
No,
I don't fucking know.
I think there are plenty of love songs out there, Claire.
Like happy love songs?
Yeah, a lot. Okay, great job.
All right,
you're all done.
toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.